24 of the game's most accomplished champions and emerging superstars joining together as the best of the best from the United States take on the top international players outside of Europe.
Welcome the man here who's got his finger on every President Cup pulse, Matt Kaminsky. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Cam. How are you?
Oh, I'm getting excited, as is everybody,
Yeah,
but
we
in
all
particular us two.
Matt, nice to have you in again. Greg Norman speaking to Melbourne radio on Wednesday.
Yeah.
He was, you could just tell, actually, he was not the normal Greg. He was, in a good mood. He was rapt to be talking about his players, and you could just tell he was looking forward to it. It must just be resonating, actually, back at the PGA Tour for you as well.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just to hear, you could hear that in Greg's voice, absolutely, that he's excited, and you can tell that the way he talks about it sounds like the guys are just extremely excited. The guys on his team to get down here and play in the President's Cup. Tiger
Woods playing this week as well at the Fry's, so it's great to see him back in action. Of course, it's great to see him back in action. A little bit of John Huggan and a few other media types just questioning whether he's doing the right thing, only playing in a couple. But I think with his knee and also with his Achilles, we're pretty happy he's just out there playing it all.
No, absolutely. I mean, just to get him out there and, from the sounds of it, he's talked that he's been having the greatest practice sessions and working out pretty well leading up into the Fries.com.
No matter what, people are going to try and find holes in the situation, aren't
they?
They
are.
It actually doesn't. It doesn't matter what happens. I mean, he's come back from a serious injury. He's starting to get some reps into him. We hear he's shot a 62 at Medalist, which is terrific. But Tiger probably did that every second week when he was playing fantastic golf. But it is incredible to sit back and just watch. I mean, Rocco Mediate's having a little bit to say about Tiger Woods. Yeah. Everyone's putting their 2 cents in. It's just going to be a relief when he gets to Australia, plays in the Australian Open, and then finally gets on that first tee at Royal Melbourne.
Absolutely, for us, for sure, for the event. But I mean, think how much that fuels him. All these comments, everything. I mean, we've seen it over the years. I mean, how easily. It's just one small comment that gets him excited.
He remembers.
He remembers everything. He doesn't forget. He's got a long memory, very, very long memory.
Well, boys, we heard from Greg Norman during the week having a chat on Melbourne radio. He's excited, and Mark, I reckon the guest who's just joined us on the phone will be very, very pumped up on the opposite team.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the PGA greats. 3 Ryder Cups, 2 President's Cup, and then throw in a Walker Cup to boot as well. Jay Haas is the captain's assistant. He's been good enough to join us. Good morning to you, Jay. Thanks for taking our call.
My pleasure to be on, guys. You're right. I am very excited about it. I was good enough to get a return engagement with Fred Couples as the captain. We had a great time at Harding Park a couple years ago in San Francisco, and with Fred being the captain again, he asked me, and I'm so excited to be down there, and I know you guys are excited to have us.
What's the most challenging part of being the captain's assistant, Jay?
I don't know that it is very challenging. I just think, Fred gets all the credit and all the blame. So I'm just kind of in the background. I had a great time a couple years ago. I'm at Fred's beck and call, basically. Whatever he wants or needs, I'm going to give him an answer. I'm going to give an opinion. And, we had no problems at all. Obviously, the guys played well. We won the cup, and everything was great. But I tell you what, it's pretty intense, especially when the pairings are made. You don't know if you've done the right thing or not. When we did the Sunday pairing Saturday evening before the final, after it was over, it only lasted about a minute and a half. It was like it took way less time than we expected it would take. And all of a sudden we look at each other, what have we done? My God, have we got this thing right or not? But all you can do is put them out there, and if the guys play well, you look like a genius. If they don't, then it's Fred's fault. So I'm okay with that.
You played in 2 President's Cups and like I said, 3 Ryder Cups. Can you convey to our listeners here in Australia what it means to play on that US team and what it means to actually win as well?
Well, for me personally, it was just such a thrill to be chosen as one of those 12 guys, whether by qualification or I was a captain pick. Jack Nicklaus picked me when we went to Fancourt a few years ago, but to be in that room with those 11 other guys and the captains and the assistant captains, to be competing against 12 guys from the international squad, there's just nothing like it. We usually are playing individual golf. That's what we're geared to do, to play a tournament by ourselves. It's always on us. But now you've got a partner, you would think it would be easier. But it's actually, I think, more difficult emotionally because you feel like you're going to let that guy down if you happen to hit a bad shot. You can't think that way, but it's only human nature. It's just an unbelievable thrill. I wasn't able to win a major on the regular tour, and so for me, that was kind of my major events. To be on those teams was just as exciting as they get.
Jay, tell us about when you finally get the Sunday. I mean, you played teams events, and it seems like the teams events are great, and it really makes a crescendo out of the Sunday. But when you finally get to that Sunday and the singles, is it a relief? Are you constrained at all playing with partners, and then a relief to actually get the singles on Sunday?
I think it is. It can be for sure. You're just out there. If you hit a bad shot, it's just what we're used to, I guess. We very rarely play match play, but when you get in the lead coming down the stretch and you've got one guy to beat, say, it kind of becomes a match play format. But when you're out there on Sundays at the President's Cup, yes, it's somewhat of a relief in the sense that, if you hit a good shot, that's a great thing. But if you hit a bad one, it's only on you, and you're only dragging down one player at the time. So, again, if everybody plays well, it's a great thing. If not, then the pairings weren't right, something wasn't right. It's just golf. Some guys play well that week, some don't, and you just add them up at the end.
Absolutely. Hey, I'd be remiss in not asking about 2 weeks ago, Tour Championship, and your son Bill Haas, and the way he played. And I can only imagine. I watched the telecast at home, and I'm sitting there watching you and your wife Jan walk down. I can't imagine the nerves that you were feeling, but then the sense of pride when Billy won the FedEx Cup, won the Tour Championship, and ultimately made the team. So talk a little bit about that.
Well, it's all of the above, what you talked about there. The emotions were tremendous there. I get a big charge out of watching him play. I have an older son who plays, and he's been on the mini tour. And just to watch them both play and do well at it, it's an unbelievable thrill. For Bill to have an opportunity to get there, to be in the hunt at the end. I think I was more nervous, actually, in regulation play. He at one time, I guess, with 3 holes to play, had a 3-shot lead.
Yeah.
A couple of guys behind him hadn't played the 15th hole, which was a kind of a gimme birdie that day. And so I figured he had a 2-shot lead with 3 to play. Well, he bogeyed 16, and then I got a little nervous for him because none of the last 3 holes are very easy holes. I don't care who's chasing you, how big your lead is, or anything like that. And he ended up bogeying the last hole. I felt bad for him, but at the same time, I thought he was going to get into a playoff. I totally didn't even regard the $10 million, the FedEx Cup. I just wanted him to win the tournament. I felt like, it was a great opportunity for him to win. What an event to win, the top 30 players, the best of the best at that moment. So for him to have that opportunity to win, that was what I was most excited about. And then when it was over, they said he won the 10, and I think we were all blown away. It's just
a bonus.
Surreal, all the happenings that went down there, the water shot, just incredible. Just
Everything.
Incredible.
Everything, Jay. And look, we look at your career earnings, $14.5 million on the US tour, and in basically 4 weeks he makes almost 12. I mean, you must be scratching him on the back for a loan at some stage.
A lot of people have said that and brought out that point, and it's crazy the dollars now out there when you play well, and obviously the $10 million bonus was huge. But, hopefully he realizes that he's only 29 years old. He's got a huge career in front of him. Don't sit back. And I've tried to instill that in him that, he can make a great mark in this game, and he's no reason to sit back now and get fat. It's just, he's got to go out there and keep grinding and keep trying to win tournaments. I think he will do that, but the money is just crazy. And the generation before us did us and thought that we were making, 10 times more than we were supposed to be making. So it's just the guys are out there, I think, looking for the victories, looking for the trophies. And obviously the money on top of it is fantastic.
Jay, the Haas name in golf is enormous. I mean, if we had a foursome of Haases versus any other family, you're going to whitewash them. I mean, you've got Hunter, you've got Bill, you've got yourself. I used to play with Jerry Haas a long time ago. I used to play a bit with Jerry. Where does it come from? Does it come from hard work? Does it come from the right teaching? How did the Haas family just become so strong in the game of golf?
Well, I think we've had a lot of factors in our favor for sure. My uncle is Bob Golby, who's a 1968 Masters champion, and Bob kind of started that family, I guess. Bob is my mother's brother, and he taught me the game. My father, nurtured me through the early years of taking me out to play and things like that. And then I kind of passed it down to my brother Jerry, who's 10 years younger. And then Jerry and I kind of just kept it going a little bit. Jerry played on the European Tour. He played on the Nationwide Tour. And then along came my sons, Jay and Bill. And then my wife's brother is Dillard Pruitt, who Dillard is the rules official on the PGA
This is getting
Tour.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Good man.
And Dillard played on the European Tour and on the PGA Tour. He won in Chattanooga. So golf has been in our family. We've been around it as long as I can remember. And well, that's great. That's a great start. But both Bill and Jay have put in hours of hard work, and
Absolutely.
nothing comes easy by any means. But to have that basis, that foundation that Uncle Bob started, was huge for me personally.
Jay, Cameron, Luke here. Thanks for joining the Clubhouse right across Australia. Got to ask, have you been to Australia before?
You know what, Cameron? I have not been to Australia, and I'm so looking forward to it. I've had so many people tell me about it through the years. I don't know why I've never been down there, but having 5 children and at the end of the year, wanting to be home with them and your tour starting up down there, I just never got down that way. But, without question, everybody talks about the people down there and how friendly they are and what a sports-minded country it is. And so, without question, we're all looking forward to being down there.
And Jay, what have you heard about Royal Melbourne? I mean, it's a national treasure here in Australia. What have you heard?
I've just heard that it's one of the best in the world by far. It is a shot maker's golf course, and it fits all people. It's not necessarily a long hitter's golf course. It's about positioning. I've heard the greens can be as fast as a marble staircase, as they say. So, I think that the weather will probably dictate quite a bit of how the course plays, but I'm certainly looking forward to getting down there and seeing it firsthand. I've heard nothing but positives, as it's one of the top 10 in the world, probably.
Well, we're really looking forward to having you down here, Jay. I know you and Fred are both there in Woodlands playing the Insperity Championship this week. Will you guys be paying attention to the Fries.com Open and seeing how Tiger's going to be playing this week?
I think we are, sure. I'm so glad that he's playing there for many reasons. I think it's great for the Fries. I think it's great for the Fall Series events that Tiger would play. I think it's going to be great for Tiger. I think I'm not alone in thinking that he needs reps. He needs to get out and play and to be in competitive situations. It's great when you're playing practice and you go out to your home course and you chip and putt or whatever and you think you're ready, but until, as they say, when you have a scorecard in your back pocket, things become a little bit different. So hopefully he'll have a really great week this week, and that'll spur him on. I know he's playing in the Open there, and that'll be great for that tournament. But also, I think it'll be great for the President's Cup that he'll be more ready than perhaps he would have been. So certainly looking forward to seeing him get back on his streak.
Jay, you're a golfing legend in your own right, but you're going to come to Australia and sitting down with Fred Couples, Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, who you just spoke about, who are just sporting icons all over the world. Do you still sometimes pinch yourself that you get to sit down and have a chat and live the dream with these people?
Well, I do, as a matter of fact. A couple years ago there, when Michael and I were the assistants, we'd be riding in the cart together, and we'd just be talking as a couple guys, and it was really kind of refreshing to see him just away from the crowds and things like that, to pick his brain a little bit about competitive spirit, how to prepare yourself, things like that. So I think the guys can learn a little bit about that from him. As Fred said, what better winner was there than Michael Jordan? And so to instill that into the team room, I think is very important. But yeah, to be around Greg, hell, I think that, Greg Norman was one of my idols. I mean, he was the best of the best for a long period of time. I played a good bit of golf with Greg when he was on top of the world, and I don't think I've ever seen a better ball striker, a better all-around game than Greg Norman had. I think he's probably, if you polled a bunch of people, Lee Trevino was a very straight driver, but I think as far as length, ability to put the ball in the fairway and everything, I think Greg was probably one of the greatest drivers the game's ever seen. So, to be a friend of Greg's and to know him in that competitive spirit is pretty cool for me to look back on. I've met so many different people in this game and so many people that have impressed me in the way they handle themselves, and he's certainly at the top of that list.
Yeah, no doubt about that, Jay. We're excited about the President's Cup. Not long to go right now. Matt's having some sleepless nights, I'm sure, getting it all organised, but we can't wait to see you here, and we appreciate you joining us on the Clubhouse.
Thanks, Jay.
History will be made at Royal Melbourne. Don't miss your chance to be a part of it.